And now to Ghana, where John Mahama has been sworn in for the second time as president, as the country faces its worst economic crisis in a generation. President John Mahama has his work cut out for him as he assumes the presidency. Mr. Mahama, who previously served as president from 2012 to 2017, made a dramatic comeback following a big win against the ruling party's candidate, outgoing Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia. He was first sworn in as president when John Evans Mills died in July 2012. He then served the rest of that term and then won an election in 2012. John Mahama has promised to reset the country on various fronts during a campaign that prioritized the economy and largely appealed to young Ghanaians who saw the vote as a way out of the country's economic crisis. Many world leaders are attending this historic ceremony, among them are Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu. I'm joined now by communication consultant Eunice Oyere, who joins me via Zoom from Ghana on this. Thank you for joining us, Oyere, on the news this hour. John Mahama is president again after about 3 attempts and is reiterating his 26-point agenda to be carried out in the first 120 days in office. What would you say are the biggest expectations from the new president?
Okay, so first of all, we want to look at what the challenges have been and why he got such a massive win. It was mostly on the economy. Secondly, we're looking at corruptions or allegations of corruption. So expectations are really high at this point. What people are looking out for is, number one, for taxes to be reduced. People are eagerly waiting for investigations to be started and completed on some allegations of corruption perpetrated by the past government. So these are the things people are looking out for. And generally, cost of living has risen much more than at least I can remember in the last 15 years. It's the rate of inflation has just increased. It's been so fast. We haven't really seen such a fast movement, such a quick increase in prices of goods and services, at least in the last 15 years, as far as I can remember. And so people are really expecting that the cost of living would improve. And then employment has also been a major problem, and then corruption. So this is what people are looking out for. I'm not really sure if in the next 120 days the president can really pull this off. But at least what I know is that regarding corruption, he set up a team, what they call a recovery team, to start to investigate or go more into these, into the allegations of corruption. And people who were said to or alleged to have bought state lands, for instance, they are going to make an effort to recover those people who have embezzled funds. They're just so basically just about corruption. That team is actually supposed to work on corruption. So I don't know how feasible that is in 121 days, but at least we know something has taken off. And after today that he's been sworn in, we're going to see practical steps how they're actually expecting to achieve the same.
So we've seen the NDC dramatically taking over from NPP. And also taking over the 9th parliament, as it were. You heard the president speaking during his inaugural speech, appealing to young people, promising job creation, a 24-hour economy. But from what he said today, do you think he understands the weight of expectation, especially from young Ghanaians?
I believe he does. We actually saw this from his campaigns. His messages during the campaign period actually focused on the expectations of people. They seem to have done a bit more work than they did in 2020. They went more to the grassroots, found out what the problems really were. And it looks like the problems across the country. It looks like everyone was on the same, was speaking the same language. So I assume they understand the enormity of the issues and what expectations are. But as to whether with the state machinery, the state funds available now, they can really achieve much in 4 years. Because trust me, at least from where I stand, a lot has gone wrong. So I don't know how much can be done in 4 years.
Yeah.
But I think that the most important thing that this government needs to do is to set a good foundation for recovery, as they call it.
Yeah.
You know, and prove to the people that they are really committed to probity and accountability. I think that would be a good place to start from, rather than jumping onto big projects, you know, which they know they cannot sustain, which has usually been the problem of our governments, the present and the past. So I think they need to set the agenda, you know, for recovery properly, set the proper foundation, and let the people win the trust of the people. I think that is what they should focus on, winning the trust of the people. Let the people know that you really are committed to this, and prove it by prosecuting your own people who go wayward. I think it would be a good place to start.
Well, Mr. Mahama is now president at the time Ghana is experiencing one of its biggest economic challenges. He's been president before, and I know that he also understands that these things don't change in a day. I hope that the young Ghanaians also can manage their expectations and as he delves in now. But that's our time, Eunice. Thank you so much for your thoughts on this development, and we wish you well from here in Nigeria.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.